Hi guys, so we've got a laptop here, Packard Bell Pentium processor P6100, GeForce GT 420M, 1GB of VRAM, 640GB hard drive, 4GB of DDR3. Yeah, quite a nice little laptop really. The problem with this one, so the customer tells me, is basically that the doesn't, well, it comes on but it doesn't boot, or it doesn't get anything on the screen basically. So just starting that up actually just to see what it's actually doing. Screen's blank. That's the first thing we notice. Oh, but the hard drive LED, yeah, the hard drive LED is flashing. That looks to me like that's actually loading up, yeah, it's flickering on the hard. Oh, and then the Wi-Fi LEDs come on. So I'd say this is booting. There's just nothing on the screen. So I think the first thing to check with this is going to be if we get a picture on an external monitor, yeah? So I'll just move the camera so you can have a look. Okay, so this is my up on the wall there monitor. It's got VGA, HDMI and DVI on it, so it's quite a handy monitor to use for testing computers, yeah? Let's just connect the VGA to this one and see if we actually get anything on the screen, yeah? And nothing seems to be happening at the moment, but I might have to wait till it boots Windows. Let's just see if that actually gives us a picture. And yes, it does. So I've got a picture on the screen, yeah, from the laptop. So it's definitely it's working, but the on-screen display isn't working. Okay. I've got to think then, is this a case that I've got a faulty screen or a cable? I don't think I've got any backlight yet. I can't see anything lighting up. See if I've got any video. Let's have a look. I don't know how well you're going to see this. Let me zoom the camera down. What I'm doing is I'm shining a torch onto the display here and having a look to see if there's actually any video there. Okay, I think I've got it so you can see it now. So shining a torch on the screen, I'm looking for icons and I can see them. Can you see there? There's a word icon. Let's go down to the bottom edge. Yeah, there's the icons on the screen, yeah. And we should see the start button, yeah. There you've got it. So the picture's working, the GPU's working, but the screen's got no backlight. So there's no lighting behind the screen, that's why it's not working. Okay, so it's definitely faulty, so we're going to have to open this up and have a look to see. Maybe we've got a problem with the cable going to the screen, which is down here somewhere. And the hinges, no. Maybe we've got a problem with the yeah, the cable, the screen itself, yeah. I can actually see on the screen, there's even like a, you see there, the clock. Oh, there's the clock, look. And here's some notification that popped up on the screen. Okay, there's no doubt the graphics are working, but there's no illumination on the screen. Okay, let's open this up and let's see what we can do with it. So we'll start with all the screws on the back. Now we'll start by just getting the focus right. So yeah, there's just a bunch of screws in the back of this thing. I'm thinking probably take all these out, and then we probably have to unclip the keyboard, and then there might be a few more on the other side. We can take the battery off. That can go. There we go. That's the battery. What's this one for? Not sure, but the battery's off anyway. So more screws in the back of here. Probably these need to come out as well, yeah. So I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll get all these screws out the back of here, and then I'll just pause the video, yeah, and then we can go to the other side and see what we can do with it. I think that's got them all loose. I find this thing very useful, by the way. It's just like a telescopic thing with a magnet on the end, yeah. But Sometimes with the conjunction of the screwdriver, it's very good for taking these screws out of here, which you can't easily get to. Yeah, I'd buy one if you haven't got one of these. I'd buy one of these. They're just a job for taking screws out. Oh, somebody at the door. Okay, so I've got all the screws out of there. I think now, yeah, this keyboard looks like one of the ones that clips out from the back, so we just need something to release the back of the keyboard, basically. They can be a little bit fiddly, these, sometimes. Oh no, right, yeah, I get it. Push the little clip in and lift it up, yeah. Right, I've got it started now. So there's like these little clips in here that you push them backwards and then you lift the keyboard. Clip pushes inwards and the keyboard lifts up. I could do with getting something under the edge of here, probably something plastic, but let's see if I can just do it. That one. This one. Proving a bit tricky. Okay, I need a little plastic spudger, yeah. Look at the old spudger underneath the edge of this keyboard, if I could just get in here. That's clipped it back down again. Okay, let's go again. So push the clip in. If it wants to go, clip goes inwards, and then the keyboard, that's it. The corner's lifting up. I've got the spudger under it, yeah. Oh, I did have spudger. Okay. So far so good. Now we should be able to work our way along these clips. So this one's proving tricky. That's under it. Next clip. There's a clip here. Now I'm sure I can get this underneath it. That's better. Okay, now we're under. There's a little clip here. Goes backwards. Yep, that's it. One more here. Goes backwards, and the last one. That's it. Well, this looks like it also has some little clips on the side. That's unusual. Normally that is enough to get these things out. Yeah. Normally that does the job, but something else on this one. What was it? Possibly a screw. Normally that would just lift out, yeah. Let me have a look on the other side, see if I've missed some screws. Okay, it's possible that one doesn't come out that way. I might need to get all this back off first, yeah. So let's try that. That's the usual way laptops tend to come apart. Oops. Knocked my little tub of screws over now. Wasn't handy. Bit of a mixture in there, but I know which one's belong to this. Hard drive. Gran. Probably don't need to take these out. Little Wi-Fi adapter. May well need to unscrew this and find the screwdriver that actually fits it. Yeah. Nope. I have to go into my other little set of tools and find the screwdriver for that one. Okay, I've got it in the end. So clipping the back of this up was correct, but then I had to pull the keyboard backwards. That's why it wouldn't lift up. I had to pull it backwards to extract all these clips here, basically, and now it came apart. So we can just lift up. Some of these lift up and some of these kind of push outwards. That one pushes outwards. That's various bits now. We're going to the other side of the desk. Yeah. So I'm getting into the laptop. I've loosened most of this lot. So now it looks like there's I couldn't get this to come off. It was I managed to lift it up, but it wasn't coming off. And now I can see that there's a lot of screws inside here that hold this in place. So all these screws need to come off before we can get at what we need to get at to. Okay, so let's start going through these screws. Not so many now. I used to look up a lot of these like teardowns, yeah, on YouTube with laptops, but I've done quite a few now. I'm sort of starting to get used to them, and in a lot of cases now I can actually work out how to get in them by myself. Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be some strange ones that I still have to look it up. But yeah, I mean, if you're not sure, you know, guys, you just get on YouTube or Google search on how to, how to take these apart. Okay, there's another ribbon cable here. Again, this looks like the tap that the thing pushes backwards. Yeah, backwards it goes. Okay, and take this one out. Oh, that's it, out that one comes. There's a couple in here. I find these type of plugs quite tough to get out sometimes. Now that one's come out quite nicely. There's another one here. You want to come out. Sometimes these things have like some sort of little clip that holds them in place, and I often find it hard to quite figure out how they do. So, yeah, no, it just pushes out, just a little bit of tension on it, that's all. Okay, so now we should be able to take off all this this top cover. Yeah, this yeah, there we go. There we go. And finally, I think we're just about into our laptop. Something holding this corner in place. I'm sure I've got all the screws out of it. Yeah. No screws in that corner. What's nothing. Okay, one little ribbon cable that I didn't release is holding it now, which is this one for the mouse pad. Yeah. Again, push this one as a tap that pushes back. Okay. Okay. Out she comes. Cover off. And now we're into the laptop. Okay. Well, this is the cable that goes to the screen, yeah. So I think the first thing, let's just make sure it's not something stupid like a bad connection on the cable, yeah. I mean, it looks, this looks okay here. It could be a faulty cable. We just get us back into place again, yeah. Reseat that. See, the cable goes up through this hinge here, so we need to get this cover off here to see where the other end of it is. Let's just try that. Just reseated that there, yeah. Need to start this. So there's a ribbon cable that comes down here to start this, and I think it's on these. I think it's the first two pins. Let's have a look. Yeah, there we are. So that's the cable that comes in, yeah. Power's on, yeah. Power pack's on, battery's off. I could plug the ribbon cable from here back into place to start it. I could possibly track it out from the button to see which pins it is, but normally it's 2 pins at one end, yeah, and we can short them together. That's something to see if it's these 2 pins here, yeah. No, I think it is. Okay, so we need to probably just figure out how to actually start this, yeah? Okay, I've just connected this ribbon cable back up to start it up, yeah? I put the RAM back in. And let's see if it's now booting up. Let's connect the external monitor, yeah. Okay, there we go. Let's switch it on and back off again. Here we go. Obviously, I'm not expecting it to boot now because there's no hard drive in, yeah. But we should hopefully get something on the screen. Yeah, I can see on my monitor it's saying insert boot device. But can't see anything on this one now. No, that's interesting. I don't seem to have anything on the screen at all now. That is interesting. That's after I reseated this cable here. Maybe this connector's got a problem. If I should be able to now, while this is just running, just release this clip here, and it should keep on running. I'm guessing when I disconnect this, yeah. Yeah. So, have we got a problem with this connection here? So, oh, no. Thought it was. I was looking at the wrong screen, yeah. Let's have a look, see if we've got anything on the screen now. No, I don't see anything. I'll disconnect that monitor. And it's shut down. On its own, it's shut down, yeah. So then just figure out which lead start is up. I think it's the first two that you connect together. No. Oh yes, it is. Yeah, first two pins, that starts it, yeah. It's on, it's on off, which is what it did before, and then back on again. Now let's see if we've got any text on the screen, yeah. Okay, yeah, it is working. I've disconnected the external monitor, yeah, so I've just got the on screen. And when I was shining, let me see if I can show you, I was shining the light up here, I wasn't seeing anything, yeah. But if I shine the light downwards, I think you can see, yeah, you can see the text there. Okay. Yeah. So we just have the message on the screen basically telling us to insert a boot device. So I think we'll have to take the screen off this next and have a look to see if it's getting the signal to turn the backlight on from the computer, yeah? So basically now I need to take the screen out, yeah, and get to the other end of this cable, and then we should see the supply voltages going to the screen, and there should be a signal usually called like BLON, backlight on, and I want to see if that signal is getting to the screen, if the voltage is getting to the screen. Okay, so I'll just get a screen out and we'll have a look. Okay, so we're now into the laptop, yeah, and I have the screen effectively unbolted from the cover so we can get behind it, yeah. We can see you have the ribbon cable which comes from here. I'll just give a bit more light if we can actually improve the lighting a bit, there we go. Hopefully, yeah. So connect coming from here, and this goes up to the screen, yeah, and also it goes along here to this little circuit board that fits there, okay. And this is an inverter, so basically this screen, it doesn't have LED backlighting, it has CCFL, cold cathode fluorescent lighting. So this is an earlier laptop, yeah. And what this inverter does, it takes the supply from the laptop and generates on here about 600 or 700 volts, which effectively lights up the, it's like a fluorescent lighting in the back of here, yeah. And we seem to have a problem either one of three things. It would seem that either one, the inverter isn't getting any power, or no doubt there'll be an enable signal, maybe an enable and a brightness signal, two signals, yeah. So it's possible the laptop isn't sending the signal to this, or the power isn't getting to it. Secondly, that the inverter itself could be faulty, yeah. Or thirdly, there's a problem with the CCFL, yeah. So we need to determine that. I think the first thing we should do is have a look to see what voltages are coming in on here, yeah. I'll just zoom down so you can see it a little bit better. Okay, so you can see the inverter here, and if you look at the cable coming from the laptop, you'll see that there are 7 connections there, yeah? So you can also see, I would think, if the zoom's good enough, if it's close enough for you, that the first 2 go to this pad, they're connected together, yeah? So you'd expect that to be ground or a supply rail. And the 2 at the other end also go to this pad together, so they again expect that to be ground or a power rail, yeah? This third one up goes to this pad, which looks to me like it's probably another power rail. Then there's 2 in there, yeah, which go to little tracks. So I'm assuming, and we'll test this with a meter in a moment, that we've got ground, 2 power supplies, and then 2 signals coming in here and here. One would activate the inverter, and the other one, I would think, would set the brightness, yeah, either by varying voltage on there or pulse width modulation on there, yeah. Okay, so let's get the voltmeter and let's see what voltage we actually have on this. Okay, the laptop's on, so let's have a look to see what voltages we have around this inverter, yeah. So that's 0 volts, that appears to be ground, as I thought one of these would be ground, yeah. This end is 18, yeah, so that's a power supply. The next one to that is 5, that appears to be a power supply. The next one to that is 3.3, and the next one to that, I think it's shut off. No, it hasn't. I'll just go again. So yeah, this one's 0.2, that's one with the copper pad, yeah, and the one that I measured is 3.3. Okay, so we know what the voltages are, so let's make a note of those. Right, I've taken a photo of it, and I've just got it on here so you can actually see it, yeah. So this is the connector, this is what we have, 18 volts on these 2 pins. We have 5 volts here, 3.3 here, 0.2 here, and ground, yeah. I suspect this one with 0.2 is probably controlling the brightness, and this one is probably a signal to turn it on, yeah. But there's voltages on there, so I think now we need to determine, is the thing running the inverter, yeah. And probably the easiest way to test that without actually connecting to the high voltage is just put the oscilloscope probe very close to the coil, yeah. And if it's running, we should be able to see, you know, spikes, a signal. We can try the same with the multimeter on the frequency mode, and we should be able to see, you know, a high frequency here, unless it's out of the range of the meter. So let's have a go. So we'll just go back over to the workbench. There we go. Let's have a look. So I'll just arrange the camera so you can see the oscilloscope, and then we'll try this. Okay, so the laptop's on, or it was on, and it's just shut itself back down again. Just start it again. So I think I have a dodgy connection on the power. There you are, it's on now, yeah. So if we just take the scope probe and put it near to the inverter, if it's running, we see some big spikes, yeah. And we're not. That's just like low frequency noise, yeah. It's not. That'll come from anywhere on here, yeah. So if the inverter was running, we'd be seeing a lot of high frequency spikes here, a big signal, yeah. And we're not seeing it. So I'm sure the inverter actually is not running, yeah. So the next thing to try and determine is whether it's not running because something wrong with the CCFL, the lamps, yeah. So that's like this end of it, yeah. And you can actually get testers for testing CCFL, but I don't actually have one. I'll buy one since I'm doing more laptops these days, and I sometimes see these older laptops. But let's see, I think there's another way we can actually test this, yeah. So what I have is this, yeah. This is an old case modding kit for putting lights inside ATX computer cases, yeah. That's from about 2006 or thereabouts. This is before we really had a lot of LED lighting. And inside here, the CFL tubes, yeah, they're broken. You can probably see this one's broken here, and this one's broken here. Yes, they've been lying around in a box, or actually in an old suitcase, and they've got broke. But this is the inverter, so this runs from a 12 volt ATX connection, yeah. And this is an inverter, and I'm thinking that if I cut these wires off here and solder them to like 2 very sharp pins, if you like, and stick them down the end of the connector here, I should be able to get this light on the screen, so if it's working, to light up. Yeah. So this would actually fit in either way, so it doesn't seem to be polarized at all. Yeah, like plus and minus. It doesn't seem to have like a plus and minus. Let me just see. This would actually, yeah, it actually goes in one way. I don't see there be any harm in connecting it the wrong way round. I think it just wouldn't light up. Yeah. So let's try it. So let's take these wires, cut them off one of these, and solder some like very thin, stiff legs on, so we can stick down there. Yeah. Well, let's see if we can test this backlight. Okay, so I've cut the wires off as goes to one of these broken tubes. Yeah, and I've actually soldered, like, it's like a leg off a resistor, just cutting off with a bit of heat shrink on. Yeah, so I've soldered those on there. So these now I can stick them down the into this socket here, so it inserts all the way into it. I did a quick just check there, and I thought I was right. So CCFL isn't polarized. It's not like plus and minus DC. Yeah, it actually runs from a high frequency AC signal. That's why this thing's called an inverter. Yeah, that converts the DC into a high voltage AC. Just confusingly, when we talk about logic gates, like we did on the last video, just on the graphics card, if you watched it, an inverter is also a circuit that effectively changes the input. So if you've got a high voltage input, it has a low voltage output. If there's a low voltage input, it has a high voltage output, and it's called an inverter. Nothing to do with this sort of inverter. Yeah. So that's just to confuse you. There's two circuits, both called inverters, that are completely different things. You'd think they would have thought of that when they named one of them, whichever was first, to realise that you can't really use that name for the other one. Yeah, but obviously that's too simple. Yeah, to work that out. You know, call it something that isn't already called. Yeah, in electronics. Okay, so power supply's on. To test this, I think I can just switch this inverter on, and if hopefully something will light up on the screen. Yeah, and it did. Yeah, I can see it. Can you see it yourself? Well, you'll probably see it better if I put some text on the screen. Yeah. So let's start this laptop up and get something on the screen. This is a slightly dodgy power connection, so it's the first two pins here. Okay, so I've just started the laptop, so let's just switch it on and see if you can see on the screen here. Yeah. Yeah, it's there. You can see the writing. Yeah. Yeah, you can see it, I'm sure. So we know that the backlights work. Yeah. So that's useful. So find one of these old case mods. Yeah, or get yourself a backlight tester. They're probably cheap anyway from AliExpress, but that'll do the job. That's good. So, although it wasn't lighting the backlighting at full brightness, we know the backlight works. So really, that's all that's left now. All that remains now is whether our inverter is actually getting a signal. I believe it is. But let's have a quick look at it and see if we can just determine for certain that this has actually got the signals it requires to activate. Yeah. Okay, I actually had a look at the chip that's on the little thing, yeah, on this board, the inverter. So I know what the chip is, and therefore I found the data sheet. Yeah, and this is the chip, and this is the data sheet. So it's this one, MP1010B cold cathode fluorescent lamp driver, which is exactly what we'd expect. Yeah. Now I've just tracked out this board, so the enable pin is going to where the 3.3 volts was coming in, and it's enabled, that's high. If it was active low, there'd be a bar across it. Yeah, and then it tells you about the brightness modes as well with analog dimming. Yeah, and just looking through this, it tells you that the analog dimming, this is where I've got like the 0.2 volts. Yeah, it's saying 0 volts sets the minimum brightness, where the lamp covers about a third of the maximum value, and then the higher voltages set, the brightness between 1.9 and 5. Yeah, but even with the low voltage, it was still light up, just at a third of its brightness, and it's not lighting at all. So I think we can be confident from the fact we've got power coming in here. The 19 volts I've tracked it through goes to pins, input pins, where pin 7 and pin 14. They've got power supply, so it's got supply. It's enabled, and it's even regardless of what's on the brightness pin, it should light up to an extent, and it's not. The rest of the things on here are various, lamp voltage feedback, current feedback, so open lamp detect, shorted lamp detect, and so on. But we know lamp current, but we know that the lamp does work using our old case mod inverter, So I think now we're down to whether A, we can just get an inverter, or B, maybe just try changing that chip. So let's have a look, see if I can actually find an inverter for this laptop first. Maybe they're just very cheap, Okay, so I just had a quick look on Google, and eBay came up basically. So let's have a look. I can show you what I found here. So this is on eBay, Spanish eBay. We have an inverter. This people have 9 available, 15 sold, which suggests to me that they fail. This is the TK85, so €10, free postage within the EU. That shouldn't be a problem getting that here. And there's our inverter, so at that price it's not worth messing around, even if I could find the chips in Spain, sorry, in China, and have to wait for them to get here. So yeah, there we go. I think we can call that a successful repair, that one. We know exactly what's wrong with it, and it looks like we can get the parts easily enough. Okay guys, so hope you enjoyed that one, another completed repair this time, and I'll see you all soon on the next one. Ciao for now.